Hey guys, Kat Kerr, and today we're working on this journal page called My Heart, but I also want to share what I do when I don't like my journal page. Now, before I started working on this page, I already had some paint on my palette and sponge, and so I didn't want that paint to go to waste, and so I decided to use it in my background. Now I'm excited. I'm also using my new stencils from stencilgirlproducts, and here I'm taking some modeling paste as well as a palette knife and just adding some of that modeling paste through the stencil, and I'm only doing it on the edges of the pages. I'm not trying to get all of the words complete, just trying to get some of the edges. Now once that modeling paste dries, I go ahead and take some of that Marabu cherry red art spray, which is one of the colors that I originally had on the sponge, and I just use it and then water it down so that it trickles down the page. Here I'm stamping on some small circles just for some added texture. Next, I wanted to add a contrasting color, and so I take a cosmetic sponge and just lightly go over the raised letters with this turquoise color, and I kind of go a little crazy with it. I just end up watering it down and just using my brush and adding it with some splatters as well as some organic lines. And here I'm just using some cherry red acrylic paint to go through this stencil, and just again I keep adding more and more texture. Next up, I'm using one of the smaller stencils, and I'm just adding the design using a pretty light buttermilk color. Next up, I'm using a black fine tip marker, a permanent marker, as well as a white Sharpie, just to add some additional mark making and elements. Next up, I cut out and attach a magazine image, and once it dries, I decide to take some fluid acrylic in titanium white, and I'm trying to tone down this background. It's just way too loud. Next up, I add my title by using some black acrylic paint through my word stencil here, and I pick out two words, my heart, and those are going to be the focal. I end up using this black acrylic paint and adding some splatters, and when I sit back and take a look at this page, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Now, I normally don't work with these colors, so I don't know if that's what's throwing me off, but the one thing I do this all the time when I'm just not happy with a page. I end up completely covering it minus the focal, and I end up adding some acrylic paint. Today I'm using black. I'm completely covering it, but then I don't let it dry. I tend to apply it and then use a wet wipe to remove some of that excess black paint. I still want that background to shine through a little bit. Now once that black acrylic paint dries, I pull out my water-soluble crayons and I am loosely going over the focal. I want it to stand out. However, I'm really enjoying this grungy vibe, so I'm being pretty loose and free with the crayons, and I also add some over the letters, this tan color to kind of help them pop a little bit. and I end up adding some more birds on top of that black acrylic paint. Again, just bringing those elements back to the page, and I add some splatters as well as some paint to the edges of the pages. Now by this point, I'm kind of getting this space theme vibe as if they're sitting in space. And so I decide to take some turquoise interference acrylic paint and put it over all of the background. And it really gives it this kind of shiny metallic look. And I also add a little bit of glitter glue. And I think this page is actually done. Now I'll admit, last year I probably couldn't just paint over my journal pages like this, but 2020 has definitely taught me to let go and loosen up. And if there's something that I'm just not feeling, I'm just not enjoying, I'll just go ahead and cover it up. And it's hard to let go of all of that stuff that you created in the beginning, but once you do let go, it's almost like a weight, and a weight has lifted, and now you can kind of look at your new page and just be happy with it. So it's all about the journey, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this video tutorial, and I really hope that you check out my new stencils over at Stencil Girl Products. And thanks for watching. Take care, guys.